What's going on, guys? Welcome to the world's greatest football store. This is the Nike Chromatic Pack, an absolutely stunning colorway from the Nike brand. My name is Noah Kavanaugh, and welcome to the world's greatest football store. All right, so a little bit about the name chromatic. So the root word chroma actually refers to the intensity or the purity of color, or in other words, the saturation level, right? So a color like this beautiful ruby red colorway, has a very high chroma level. Also juxtaposed is you have the blue fading into the ombre purple of this beautiful Vapor 16 Elite that also has a really high chroma density. But then you flip it over and there's this really interesting sort of gentle spray of that purple and blue, which has a much lower chroma level. And in terms of colorways that we get here at Ultra, we have the 2 Phantom here in the middle, which is of course the Luna 2 and the GX2. We have this Tiempo Legend 10 Elite here on my left, and then over on my right hand side we have the Mercurial series, which of course is the Vapor 16 Air Zoom Elite and the Air Zoom Superfly 10 Elite. So let's jump into some tech specs of each one of these absolutely beautiful football boots. All right, so let's start off with the Mercurial series, which in my opinion is probably one of the most beautiful colorways I've seen of Vapor maybe ever. It reminds me of Superfly 2, Superfly 3, that had those amazing flames on the internal side of the boot. It was an all-white football boot. Ronaldo wore them way back in the day, CR7 Ronaldo, and they had these purple and blue flames. I'll put a picture up on screen, but that's what this colorway reminds me of, and it is absolutely stunning. Now, the Vapor and the Superfly are the exact same model. The Superfly 10 just has a little bit of Flyknit here above the ankle area. It covers most of my ankle bone, and I assume it will probably cover most people's ankles. It's not as high as Superfly 4 or some of the old Superflies used to be, which were about that high, but needless to say, it is a little bit more of that seamless sensation if that's what you're looking for. Now, in terms of technology, they are exactly the same, like I said before. So this new Silo Vapor 16 and Superfly 10 have some really interesting tech. So it's Atom Knit here in the rear quarter, which is essentially the thinnest Flyknit material that Nike has ever produced. And then you have the Nike Grip Knit essentially from the top of this collar area all the way through the forefoot. And it's incredibly thin, a lot thinner than the GX2 and the Luna 2. What that does is it creates this incredibly soft and easy break-in process, but then it has excellent performance, good lockdown, and a nice waxy grip texture across essentially all of the striking surfaces of the boot. Of course, you're going to lose out a little bit maybe on the underside here of the Nike swoosh, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter that much. You're really going to feel the knit material throughout the entirety of the playing experience. And then of course on both boots, you've got the Air Zoom sole plate, which is an update from the previous generation. Instead of those star triangle shaped studs, you now have more of a chevron stud pattern, very similar to what you find in Vapors of the past and Superflies of the past, which I really, really enjoy. And then this really nice little wave texturing or wave pattern here through that Air Zoom unit that's goes basically from the toe to about 3/4 of the way down your foot towards the ankle and the heel area. It's one of the more balanced sole plates, and I think compared to last generation, at least my experience with the Vapor 15, the Vapor 15 felt really nice as far as Air Zoom goes, but it was a little unstable. This new generation feels incredible, particularly for those FG surfaces. Now, as far as the sole plate and whether you should wear it on FG and AG, I don't recommend wearing these on AG at all. Actually, I think go straight for an FG surface, including the fact that you actually lose warranty if you wear them on AG and they end up breaking or something. So I would purely use these, particularly because they're so aggressive, just on FG surfaces. But overall, this is easily probably top 2 for me in terms of colorways for the Superfly 10 and the Vapor 16 Elite. All right, now moving on to the Phantom series, which is probably my personal favorite of the 3 silos. The Phantom GX2 is a boot that I absolutely love. It fits me personally absolutely perfect straight out of the box, which, by the way, fun tip, that's how you should pick your football boots. Always buy boots that actually fit you the best. And this one is my favorite out of the lot. Vapor 16 is probably my next favorite. But needless to say, this is an absolutely beautiful boot because of how simple this colorway is. So from a tech perspective, you've got a full grip knit upper with this new kind of wave, almost shot shield esque technology or this little pattern to it, which is really nice, great for striking the ball. The off-center lacing system on both models is really nice. It just kind of keeps the laces a little bit away from where you're going to strike the football. And of course, as is with the Vapor and the Superfly, these are identical models. The only difference is the Luna 2 has that extra little bit of Flyknit around the collar of the ankle. It goes a little bit higher on the medial side, so on the inside of your foot and ankle area, but needless to say, it just adds a little bit more of that seamless sensation between the boot and your lower leg. Now, as far as sole plates go, these are a bladed stud pattern from the Cyclone 360 plate, which ombres from kind of a matte metallic finish in white all the way down to this really dark emerald green down here, which looks really, really nice. I think most of the sole plates they've done, especially for some of the Holland special editions, and then with this new chromatic pack, look absolutely fantastic in my opinion. This is another sole plate that I would highly recommend only playing on FG. I've tried to play with this on an AG surface and it really doesn't feel all that great, particularly just because it is so aggressive, and we are usually going to carry an AG model of one of the colorways here at Ultra Football, so you can always come in and get an AG color if you want as well. I'm not actually sure personally if this particular chromatic pack comes in AG, but needless to say, we usually hold an AG model of the GX2. So sole plate, go FG. Very aggressive, very good for kind of that pivot motion, and very good for an FG surface, and then save AG for an AG plate. Overall, this is actually going to fit, and the Luna 2 are going to fit wider foot shapes really well. I think out of the three models, these are definitely the widest, particularly in this midfoot area. It's got a little bit of a narrower toe box area, but about on par with the Vapor. So you should be pretty good if you've got wide feet. Stick with the Phantom series, and of course, go true to size in those as well. All right, now moving on to the Tiempo Legend 10, and I gotta tell you what, this is probably one of the best Tiempo colorways I've ever seen. This is absolutely amazing. This red is stunning, and look what they've done to the sole plate. I'll have some close-up shots as well. But they've basically gone from metallic ruby red and ombre'd the metallic finish over to a matte finish. That looks insane up close and personal. So, needless to say, before I start drooling over these football boots, basically a Tiempo Legend 10 is a Fly Touch Plus, so it's a fake leather material or a synthetic leather material that you get across the entirety of the upper. It's pretty thin, got some decent stiffness to it straight out of the box, but it does break in decently well. And then you have the Flyknit collar here through the collar area, and then of course through the lacing system, giving it a very seamless construction all the way through. Now these fit a lot narrower than Tiempos of the past, so just be aware when you are trying these on, these are gonna fit probably average to narrow foot shapes more than they are wide feet like Tiempos of the past. Very neutral heel area as well with that perforated suede material. And then this is actually probably my favorite Nike sole plate across all all 6 silos, if you will, or all 5 silos. I love conical studs. It's what I wear for the most part in my day-to-day training and playing, and the bladed studs here in the heel area that very much mimic the GX2 and Luna 2 series make for sort of this really nice hybrid of really good pivot power, and then also you've got the traction for stopping and stuff as you are heel striking, essentially to slow down. So overall, this is a sole plate that I really enjoy playing with. Similar to most Tiempos of the past, I think Tiempo sole plates have been really good, particularly with Tiempo 9 was amazing, Tiempo 8 was really good, and Tiempo 10 kind of continues that legacy of having a really nice neutral sole plate with the added benefit of conical studs that you can kind of get away with on FG and AG. Now, I want to put a reminder out there as well that there is a loss of warranty, obviously. If you play with these on AG and they end up breaking or something, you can't return them. However, I think they're a boot that actually performs really well on AG, so if you're somebody who doesn't mind breaking warranty, absolutely go for it. So, one of the best Tiempo colorways, in my opinion, for sure for Tiempo Legend 10, potentially top 10 ever. These are absolutely stunning, and I am really, really excited to see what these look like on feet. So from a tech perspective, Tiempo Legend 10, very, very fun to look at and a very fun boot to play in. All right, so Chromatic Pack. Now, which one should you choose? Now, if you don't have an opportunity to actually come into Ultra Football in Sydney or here in Melbourne, I would highly recommend taking this particular advice. So here we go. If you have narrow feet, Tiempo or Mercurial, those would be my two recommendations. If you have average width feet, I think you're gonna probably be fine in all of them. I would say your best possible option is probably the Phantom. Actually, you could probably get away with all of them if you have like pretty standard average width feet. Now, if you have wide feet, like me, I fit in the Mercurial series and I fit in the Phantom series. So as far as foot shape goes, that's what I would recommend. But again, I always recommend to you guys, come in store to Melbourne or in Sydney, try the boots on, because you'll really get a feel for not only what the upper is like, how it fits your foot, how it wraps your foot, what the sizing is like, and also how the studs feel underfoot, because we do have carpet in the boot room. So you can kind of feel what it's like to run around in them. Now, they all fit true to size for me. I find that I wear my normal size 9 US in all 5 or all 3 really of these particular silos. Now, if you really like the high cut collar, you like the look of it or you like the feel of it, definitely Luna 2 or the Superfly 10. Those are definitely good options for you. And then if you like low top, you have the other 3 options as well: Tiempo 10, GX2, and the Vapor 16 Elite. Now, if you ask me what I'm gonna pick to wear on a regular basis, I'd probably pick the GX2 Elite. It just fits my foot really well. I also love the fit of the Vapor 16 Elite, so that's also kind of my second pick. That being said, if I'm picking a boot that I think looks the best, it is the Tiempo Legend 10. This red color is absolutely stunning. And although it's probably not my personal favorite boot just because it doesn't fit all that well, I wish it did, but it doesn't, unfortunately. That being said, it is an absolutely stunning colorway, and I just wish that I fit in these, because I would pick these up in an absolute instant. So that is Nike's Chromatic Pack. I'm curious to know down in the description box below, which one of these boots do you like the best? All right, guys, that is going to be it for the Chromatic Pack from Nike. I absolutely think that these boots are stunning. This is an absolute 10 out of 10 for me as far as colorway goes. You really can't go wrong across this entire pack. Obviously, make sure you get the size that fits you properly and you get the boots that fit you properly as well. That is number one. Make sure to come visit us at Ultra Football in Sydney or in Melbourne to pick these up. They will be available as of the drop of this video, so you can click the link down in the description box below to buy a pair for yourself. My name is Noah Kavanaugh, and I'll see you guys next time at the world's greatest football store. Also, make sure you go follow us at Ultra Football and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Oh, and also, the new Australia kit just dropped. It's freaking awesome. It's got really cool pattern on the side. Come pick it up too.